let's again. Why we don't care? How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a bit slow. I kind of live like on my own, but recently I've received some sort of new eBay purchases, which are kind of brightening the mood.
And what would that be? Ouija
Ouija.
board. Wow, that's
Yeah.
cool.
If you're governmentally not allowed friends, it's time to get in contact with the spirits.
All righty then. That's cool. That's all right. Okay. Did you get in touch with anyone in particular?
I've recently been trying to get in touch with the ghost of Robin Williams, but
All right.
he's quite unavailable. Um, as I've heard, I think he's kind of frequenting the other side of the Atlantic at the moment, so hasn't kind of made it over to Bristol.
Bristol. Yeah, Bristol. Hey, I'm coming. That's the
I
girl
think it
calling
would
me
be
from
first on
Bristol.
his list.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would be great if Bristol and the Southwest was on his list of priorities of spiritual visitations, but we
Exactly.
can't always get what we want.
Yeah, that would be funny. So what the fuck is this? A woman from Bristol? Like a random woman from Bristol. What does she
I,
want?
Robin, I just love Goodwill Hunting.
Yeah. Yeah, just watch that, just to say your terrific role. Why did you kill yourself, really? What's a
Yeah.
shame, you
Oh,
know?
Robin, I miss you, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I
This is
miss
all
you,
about me,
buddy.
Robin. What the fuck you think?
Yeah,
Yeah. Funny
lest we all
thing,
forget.
I actually know a couple of people who were friends with him, which is funny.
Wow. So
Wow,
that is pretty crazy.
that is pretty crazy. And yeah, but he's dead. So, I'm saying we are 2 links away, or whatever. How many? What's it? What's the thing? You're only
Isn't it
six.
eight degrees of seven
Yeah,
degrees of separation?
yeah, that's it. So I would
Yeah.
think I'm only 2 degrees of separation from Robin Williams because I have two teach stand-up teachers who are now like colleagues or something, and they
Oh
both
wow.
knew him, and they both knew him. But again, I'm only 1 degree because he's dead, so I just need to die, and I'll be in
Absolutely.
the same world as him, or not.
You can never know. To be
You
honest,
never know.
like, is there an afterlife, or is everyone just floating around and we can't see them?
Yeah.
That's the real question.
What do you believe in? What is your belief?
I genuinely believe I just don't have the sight, or
Yeah.
maybe the true belief in the spirits that means I'll be able to see them.
Yeah. That's always
Therein
your
lies
fault.
the issue.
Yeah.
I can't believe that I would be able to see them, so I can't. It's like a mental block.
Yeah, that's a very very interesting circular theory. Like follow us. If you manage, we are great. If you don't manage, because you're an idiot. That's it.
Yeah, right.
That's easy. It's cool.
And you've got to find some way of justifying the sort of strange and slightly dangerous noises emanating from your house at all times.
Yeah. Well,
You
when
know,
they smell,
the
yeah,
doors rattling off its hinges. You're like, it's not wood rot. It's just the
no,
ghosts.
yeah,
I don't need to deal with. What's that? The rubbish bin overflowing? The ghosts.
yeah. I
Yeah,
had, yeah,
you
I
can
had that
just
experience.
offload all your personal problems onto the spirits. It's
Yeah,
a
that's
really great way of evading all personal responsibility.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, they didn't even take the trash out. That
Yeah,
lousy
lazy
ghost.
ghosts.
Yeah, lazy ghost. They're fucking lazy. You can rattle the door. You can't take the trash out. What you talking about?
I mean, it's just crazy, really. It would be nice if they kind of had a similar thing for like ghosts as they do for like dogs. Get like a ghost trainer, kind of start
That
getting
is
some stuff sorted. Like start filling in your tax return. That'd be
that's a
amazing.
that's a business plan right there. I worked in Penzance. I lived in Penzance for a while,
Oh,
nearly
really?
nearly 20 years ago, and I worked in the Dolphin Inn in Penzance, famously haunted pub. And there's one ghost. He sits on the bed. That's he makes imprints of his ass on the bed. That's
A
that's
bed in
his.
a pub as well.
Yeah, it's like the
Oh, it's
landlord up on the first
just the
floor.
landlord's bed.
Yeah,
It's so strange how the ghost sits on that bed.
that's his thing. That's this his. I'm not even sure if you can see the outline of the ghost's ass or something, but he apparently sits on the bed. That's his specialty. What do you
No,
do as a ghost? Well, I just sit on the bed.
just sit on the bed.
How
You know,
about you?
I think
Well,
I
you go
think
through
that
the
would
walls.
kind of like when I kind of transcend into the spirit realm. I think I'll just do some kind of mildly inconvenient haunting.
Yeah.
Like, I'll always leave, like, I just put the toilet seat up, and
Yeah.
they know the house is like a house of only women, and the toilet seat's
Ooh.
just always up.
Ooh.
That would be spooky, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that
That
would
would
be
really
good.
start to freak you out.
Yeah, that that is, and it's like wet toothbrushes, and people, oh, my toothbrush is wet.
Yeah, what? Who's
Some,
using my
yeah, who's, yeah,
toothbrush?
exactly. You just
Me.
moist it.
I'm really shitting you up today. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
there you go. Yeah, and the funny thing was, there was a lady there, which was another degree of separation, who actually saw Elvis Presley in the concert. And I go, wow, you saw Elvis in the concert. I go, wow. When this happens, I nearly feel that I nearly saw Elvis. And I asked her about the ghost, and she go, "Oh yeah, yeah, of course I see the ghost." And then when you are the only one that doesn't see the ghost or doesn't believe, not that I don't believe, but I couldn't see it. Oh yeah, I feel a presence sometimes. It's just over there. And I was just washing the lettuce and said, "Ooh, this is weird."
Yeah, spooky.
That's in Cornwall.
Um,
They drink and shit. So that's
yeah,
all right.
absolutely. I always find it's the kind of Elvis's ghost. It just leaves behind like a bag of white bread, just like
Yeah,
some farmhouse white,
yeah,
an empty pot of like peanut butter. He's just reliving that toilet death, just eating his little mega sandwich
yeah.
like a legend.
Like a legend, like the legend he is.
Yeah,
There
do
we
you know
go.
what I mean? Like if you're eating that kind of sandwich, do you know about the sandwich that he used to make? It's like a full white bloomer, a whole thing of peanut butter, like two things of jam. Then he puts like another bread loaf on it, same again. So it's like the kind of death sandwich. Yeah.
All right.
You're wondering why he went. Probably because he was eating that on the toilet, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a real rock and roll way to go. Like just death by sheer clag,
yeah.
just peanut butter clag.
Peanut butter,
Why
yeah.
not?
Yeah, why not? Yeah. Like Amy Winehouse, what's that about? Like
Oh,
all
we
skinny and
cannot
shit.
speak
Yeah,
ill of a genius.
yeah. Like all skinny and stuff. Good, do it. If you're gonna do it in the proper way. Just stuff your face with stuff. Go out like the king. Hey,
Go out like a king.
go out, yeah, go out like a king. I'll be the new. If I own the peanut butter thing, the stuff that killed Elvis, you know, that would be cool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And I saw a little ad for someone who was like a dead animal psychic. So your
Oh,
Ouija board is like a child's play next to
yeah.
that
This is
lady.
just entry
Yeah,
level
entry level.
psychic bullshit. We're
Yeah,
like, I'm really building up to just kind of like living in some sort of like twig hut,
there you go.
with very wild hair, kind of just throwing tarot cards out, just hoping someone's going to come in, give me like £50 to kind of say some rubbish about their hands. I think
Yeah,
it's the ultimate con.
it is. It is. If I had the balls, I would have done that.
Oh,
Because yeah,
well, what do you go to acting school for? That's the
e-
question. It's
exactly,
why do you bother going? What's the improv for if it's not for an elaborate con?
exactly. But yeah, it's kind of the thing with people being fragile. I kind of struggle with that. Because I thought to myself, well, if this person comes here and they want some psychic counseling or whatever, and if I say, look, you're a moron, don't do that. That'll be
Yeah,
stupid.
absolutely.
They'll go, oh, fuck you. And they'll go see someone else. And they go waving their money at someone else. Tell me some bullshit about something I don't understand. And someone will eventually do it. And then you tried to make the world a better place. You are no richer for that, not even a thank you. And they're going to get scammed anyway later on. So,
Exactly. So why not be a real charlatan?
exactly. That's
You
the
can't,
thing.
you can't be a pseudo charlatan. You got to
No,
go all the way or not at all. That's
exactly.
what I kind of. That's my didact.
Yeah. So you're going deep into it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Like the Deepak Chopra sentence generator.
Oh yes, I do.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You just
Chuck something out.
life is a mirror.
If
The
anything,
universe.
I'm doing a bit for feminism in that kind of in this kind of post-feminist age. I'm just testing the waters of kind of witchness and
Right.
seeing if I'm gonna get lynched.
Yeah, that kind of
And
sounds
and you
cool.
know what? So far, no pitchforks outside my building.
No one
So
cares.
it's showing that feminism really has moved on.
Yeah.
Kind of societal feelings about, occult women such as myself.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds. Even myself, I tried to do some feminist things. I did a video about the clitoris just a few days
Oh,
ago. Yeah,
like, to be fair, I'm not even entirely sure that it's a real thing, but the more I hear about this clitoris, the more I'm starting to become convinced myself.
yeah, it probably
Like,
exists.
yeah, I have one, but is it real?
Yeah, can I touch it?
Ontologically speaking.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, and what's with the vulva? Vulvas everywhere. Paintings, vulva.
Apparently everyone has one.
Yeah,
What?
every,
It's just women.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, exactly. But
We
yeah,
claim that one.
oh, and now, and I learned this with my wife because she's a sex therapist, and she said, clitorises and stuff, and everyone who owns a clitoris, because you can't even say women anymore, because if you are transgender,
Yes, this is true.
you might be a man and have a clitoris, and you go, oh, right, didn't think about that.
Yes, we do have to start using more inclusive terminology. But
Yeah,
my
well,
God, like a man in his 50s, I am still slow to shift, but I'm working on it.
you're working on it, and it's very nice of you to work on it. In my video of the clitoris, I had a little. It was like an African tree, a baobab. I don't know if you know those trees, like huge, round, thick trees. And my father-in-law said, "Hey, I'm going to burn this in the fire because someone gave it to me, and there's an African flute and this thing." I said, "Oh, no, give it to me. I can make a video about it. It looks like a clitoris. Of course, it doesn't. But I said, oh, this is. Do you see the clitoris in here? There's the nerves and stuff. But it's a tree.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I want to be part of this, I want to be a feminist as well. Because, just you don't have anything to say, just talk about the clitoris and say, yeah, it hasn't been in the anatomy books until 2016. Ah!
It's the new flat earth thing. It's just
Yeah,
clitoris denial. It's not a
yeah,
real thing.
yeah. Just go onto the clitoris and people will say, oh, this guy is interesting. Yes, as
Yeah.
a man, yeah, he has stuff
That's
to say about the clitoris.
wow. Wow. You're
There you
genre
go.
breaking.
Exactly. This guy
Break
is
down that glass ceiling. You
exactly
work.
it's going for
Doing
it
it for the
really.
ladies.
Yeah, and girls will have I have totally an interesting life. I have nothing to say to the world. But hold on, I can talk about a clitoris in my vulva and maybe even
About
paint it.
women. That's interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And people, oh,
Oh,
she's a feminist. She's a
I'm
activist.
really, really sorry. I have to go and answer my door.
Go and answer your
I
door.
have an unexpected visitor. I'm really
Ooh,
sorry.
go on, go on. Do you have
One,
pants on? Yeah, go.
pardon?
Do you have
I'm
pants
wearing
on?
trousers.
All
Yeah.
right, go on then.
Oh no.
Go on. And here I am, as in doing a solo act, while this lady, I will talk about her video. And maybe, oh, she has a Moretto. She has a Moretto in the background. Of course, it's empty. There's a Moretto. There's a big fat dildo. There's some spray, Christmas decorations, Ouija board. It would be funny if it would be her parents or someone in the family. And I'm pretending we were doing Zoom sex. That would be really funny. Like, oh yeah. No,
Apologies.
no
My
problem.
unexpected visitor has arrived.
All right. Anyway, the show went on. Don't worry.
I'm
So
really sorry about
you'll
that.
you'll you'll watch it later. All the crap I said about your big fat dildo in the background, and yeah, and it'll be funny. I was saying if it would be your some parents or family members coming in, and I would be pretending we were having a Zoom sex. Oh, you find people
Oh
walking by
wow.
and they go,
That would be brawny.
did we
That
interrupt something?
my support bubbles come through.
That would be funny.
Well,
Just if you can contribute to embarrass someone, I'm always one to give a
yeah.
hand.
Causing embarrassment is potentially one of my main strengths, both to myself and to other people.
I loved your
So
video.
generally,
The last one I saw your video on the beach. That was embarrassing.
yeah,
And were you
yeah,
doing it
it
alone?
was pretty embarrassing around. Yeah, so I actually shoot all of my videos on my own, with a tripod that I bought
Yeah,
off
yeah, yeah,
Amazon
yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
15 quid. And this particular filming was quite strange because I went to Western Supermare,
Oh,
which I don't know if
Western
you've been there,
fucking
but it's kind of like,
Supermare.
yeah, I mean, it was a Western fucking super nightmare. Wayo.
That's where
And
John Cleese lived
kind of,
there for a while, and he says Western
yeah,
fucking
yeah, yeah.
Supermare. Yeah, yeah.
It's a real shithole. Uh, and they were like, I kind of went dressed as like kind of 1940s detective. I got asked a number of times if I was having a funny turn on the beach. And I've got to say, I'm not entirely sure whether I was or was not having a funny turn
What is a funny
whilst
turn?
filming that. Oh, it's an English euphemism for sort of losing the
All
plot
right,
completely.
funny turn. That's
Yeah, so
cute.
a couple of attempted interventions later, I had enough footage to kind of weasel together some sort of story. So that's
Right.
nice.
Yeah, but watching it, I was wondering because like okay, there was a bunch of questions were in my mind. Right, was the voiceover done after the footage? Like saying, okay, what can I say to to fit what I filmed, or
Justify the footage.
was the filming done to fit what was written for the voiceover? And then next question. Well, first,
Uh,
beautiful car. I love the car.
oh, thank you very much. She is my
Beautiful.
baby.
Yeah, it's a beautiful car. And the second thing, so if she's filming this with a tripod, between, of course, the embarrassment of filming yourself alone and jumping around and fearing that someone would nick your phone, like because there's some scenes you're really far away from it. Like I was thinking,
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
you're far away from it, but you're trying to keep an eye on it, like someone would pinch it.
yeah. Absolutely. I've got to say, I was lucky that as I was driving to Weston from Bristol, it was a genuine, absolute clangor of a storm, sort of
Right.
like very poor visibility. And then I kind of arrived and the beach was empty. And then as the sun came out, kind of people started coming through. So initially, it was more like a thing of, I am a long distance runner, and I was
Yeah.
just sprinting back to my camera every single time. And
Yeah.
then gradually, I kind of just was like, oh, I'm just going to stay a bit closer to it so no one nicks all my
Yeah.
equipment.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that was funny, and of course, continuity is a bitch when you do something like that and you go, you're filming. Oh, this is very diffuse light, very nice, and then
Yeah,
sunshine, then clouds, then
yeah,
sunshine,
it
and the
was
dog is
such
in
a
the sunshine,
nightmare.
and oh yeah,
Uh, I really had to weave in some sort of post emotional narrative
yeah,
relating to the very dramatic changes of light that I was getting.
yeah,
I could not have expected that weather because down in Bristol, like it's pretty much just grey or
right,
raining or beautiful very rarely. So
right.
yeah,
Yeah, it is amazing that the energy you know you emanate when you do stuff, and that's beautiful. And I was like, wow, and of course, me seeing. Um, of course, I have this like professional defect that when I see something like this, I'm thinking about the filming, I'm thinking about the old because I did
yeah.
kind of do some of those things, and yeah, and like I really like it. Like, you're
Oh,
wacky.
thank
I
you very
like you.
much.
You're wacky. Tell me
Yeah,
about
it's
what?
pretty crazy.
Yeah, she's. Next time she'll be talking about clitorises on the beach. Yay. Doing sandcastle with the Ouija board on the beach. That'll be
Yeah,
funny.
I mean, the Ouija board's definitely going to get involved at some point. We shall have to see. I'm kind of going through deciding where to go next, sort of thing.
Yeah, I like it. The Ouija board. That's cool. And so, how did you end up doing these things?
So I guess I sort of live alone. So I was kind of trying to, well, yeah. So first of all, I want to make comedy. I want to make films. That's what I want to do, and it's kind of what I do. But like the whole industry is kind of collapsing,
Yeah,
which is great, especially the live performance. There's not that much opportunity at the moment to sort of create anything on a stage in front of an audience and kind of
right,
have that spontaneity. So I kind of just thought I'll start creating sort of spontaneous films in the sort of same way that I would approach sort of live comedy and performance,
right.
and kind of just writing these wacky films to try and stop myself from going insane. But also, I think they're so wacky because I'm slowly going insane.
All right, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
Yeah, Yeah, but it is cool. So um, yeah, I like that you're like, wow, because that's cool. It's like peeking into someone's mind, and it's really great because sometimes you don't even allow yourself to think crazy things. You say, oh no, this is weird, and you try to discipline yourself. No, no, just think
Yeah,
about something
I
else.
think it's
But
kind
that's
of not
cool,
being afraid to kind of do some, especially when you're doing it entirely on your own. Yet it's able to spiral out of control, which is
right?
kind of what I'm sort of going for from the start of every episode to the end. It's kind of like a sort of spiraling and then bringing back together. And I think it's so easy to do that when you're working just on your own,
Right.
because there's no one to say, oh, I don't think that would work, or oh, I just don't think that makes sense. Because when you're just creating it, because you're just like, well, yeah, it is a bit weird, I'm just going to make it, you don't question yourself in that way. You just kind of try to pull off the crazy thing. There's not like room for self-doubt when you're making it by yourself in a way.
Yeah, which is can be a bitch sometimes
Yeah, for sure.
because there's no one to kick your ass to say, "Oh, do this. You should do this. Go for it,"
Yeah,
or no one to say, "No, that was a bad idea. Don't do that." So you kind of it's a one person band, and yeah, you have to trust yourself enough to go for it, even if it's crazy and if people won't understand it, and do all that, and not judge yourself and judge yourself at the same time.
yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
most of I think the creation process for me is like, just film it, do some weird shit, get it all on camera, and then it's really in the editing where I'm kind of like, am I just am I just fucking insane?
yeah, exactly.
Is this like
Who is this person?
mostly the question I ask is like, is this funny? Especially when you're editing it all by yourself. You just kind of like, is anyone else going to find this funny?
Sure.
And I think because it's so random and everything's kind of unexpected about it, even to me,
Right.
um, that's why I think it is funny.
Well, yeah. I think it is for the stuff I do. I kind of think about it in a retrospective sort of way. Like, oh, in 20 years, people will come to see this and go, that's one. Oh, right.
Yeah,
That was genius right there, and nobody knew. So like that kind of thing. Like when if someone if when you hit upon the thing, your element, when you finally find it, if you have one, and if you find it, and you go for it, it's like early Beatles or early Rolling Stones or whatever, and they go like ding ding ding, the little ding ding, and so yeah, I can, the, the
yeah, I
the
can see where
origins
you're
of
going.
something. So but you have to do that, and you have to, if what you're doing is crap, you need to do the crap and get it out of your system until you can start to do something better. But you need to get all the gunk out of
Yeah, you really need to like clear all of the kind of rubbish ideas that
yeah,
you
but you need
have
to
at
do
kind of the
them.
top surface. You just need to make it, and you're like, oh, I want to do a whole sketch about someone falling on a banana. It's like, well, you're not going to get over that until you do it, and
Yeah,
you're like, slapstick. Probably, is that still making the people laugh? I don't know, but you can at
it
least
is.
try.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the thing. It's complicated because there's an audience for everyone. There's people who will enjoy that. Others will think, oh, that doesn't make me laugh. It's stupid. There's not a joke in there or whatever. And also, after there's people doing things like I'm translating a book like How to Write Funny. I'm translating it into French, and there was this example of movie 43, and with the like star cast of bunch of famous people, and it was like the worst movie ever because they were going, oh, this is edgy comedy, this is dangerous comedy, and it was a bunch of fart jokes and sex
Yeah,
jokes and sexist jokes and bad gags and crap. It was just completely crap from beginning
yeah.
to end. And they spent I don't know how many $1 million doing a crap movie.
Yeah, I always find it interesting when things are described as kind of edgy or sort of offbeat, or what's that horrible word they use on Netflix? Irreverent.
Yeah,
Irreverent comedy or edgy comedy, offbeat comedy, and it's like, okay, but what is on beat then? Like, what is non-edgy comedy? It's like,
sure.
are you really making something worth showing in terms of comedy that is sort of unique, especially like in today's sort of like comedy culture where you can actually access good comedy at any time? It's like,
Yeah,
what are you doing that's so edgy to differentiate yourself, I guess?
yeah. I think
It's like you just got to have a kind of unique perspective. That's the only thing we all have to offer, really.
yeah. It all comes down to subtext. What are you saying? What do you want to say to the world? What is it that you have to say?
Mm.
Because if you're just going to do slapstick, okay, well, slapstick, that's all right. Dick jokes, okay, but all right, you did the dick joke, well done. You did the butt joke, fart jokes, okay, so yeah, but that's all funny, all righty then. But what are you trying to say? And
Yeah.
you go, oh no, nothing, no. That was it. That was my
That's
whole. That was my
it.
act. Oh, fuck off then. If
Yeah, absolutely.
and if
I've
yeah,
got so much to talk about nowadays that there's no point doing something if you're not actually saying something, because it's like, why are you taking up airtime when you could
exactly,
be talking about something specific, and there is actually so much material just
yeah.
being given to us every day, and so much stuff that there is to comment on, that I think it's a waste.
Yeah, so and then look at me. But that's their message. The message is you should be looking at me and applauding me and you know idolizing me and giving me money. That's my message.
And
That's
for what?
and for what? No, just for existing. That's
Yeah.
why. Why else would what other motivation can there be? So yeah, but it's funny how I like your look and everything when you do that,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
that's cool.
So I think that character for me really is like a sort of, because I'm a university student still, and kind of what I see in the ways that kind of women are, we are encouraged to sort of portray ourselves as young women. It's a very conflicted identity of like, be a baby, be sexy, kind of be a woman, but not too much of a woman, and it's kind of playing on all of that kind of, and stuff down to sort of loosely held political ideas. It's like, oh, if you're not a Tory, I'm not, like, if you're a Tory, I'm not talking to you. Kind of
Right,
all of this political posturing, when actually none of us really know what we're talking about or kind of what we're trying to fight against. So it's kind of like embodying all of that sort of innocence of being a young person on top of like all of these kind of conflicting ideals about what we should be doing, I guess.
right. How old are you? Talking about being a young
I'm
person.
22.
22. Right. Okay. You are young. No, I'm kidding. Oh, you are young. No, no, no,
Oh,
no.
the
Shut up.
joy of youth.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Well,
okay.
no, it's
I
funny.
may be young, but I'm emerging into a crippled economy, so I feel like there's a bit of a
Oh
kind
yeah,
of give and take.
yeah. It's funny. Like, oh, you are young. It doesn't mean anything. It's like, oh, you are Scottish. You are young. Like it defines you. You are young. No,
Yeah,
yeah,
but do you know what? I don't mind for now being defined as young.
yeah. Enjoy it. Won't
Yeah,
last.
well, I'm trying.
Being a woman and everything, you have, time is running out if you're 40. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard
I saw
that.
it, yeah, some like 45. If you're 45, you don't get any more acting jobs and crap and all that, and it's hard. So yeah, pressure on there. I'm getting to nearly 40 soon, and so I'm getting to, but yeah, man, it'll be like green, 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 ripe, rotten. That's it. Like your
Yeah,
50s, you're, and then you're just shitting
yeah.
your
Do
pants.
you know what? I do feel like there is a tough thing for men, because I think fundamentally, the older that white men get, especially, the more they kind of lose capital, because it's just kind of like, why are we listening to kind of the face of the establishment, I guess.
Yeah,
It's kind of,
that's
like, you got to become a feminist to stay current these
exactly,
days.
exactly. Or to identify as something else other than a man. That would be funny, and people will listen to you. You have right to speak. Because yeah, because if you're a man and you're straight and you're white, you can't say shit because you are the face of the establishment. But if you're the same guy, and you say no, but I identify as a woman, actually, and they go, oh, yeah, sure, yeah, now that's fine. Go talk away. I said, no,
Yeah, I also kind of feel like that is an overused kind of perception of like, oh, you're a white man, you've got nothing to say. It's like, yeah, this is kind of the cultural understanding of like having something to say, as in something to say about your experience. Like, there's nothing about your experience which would particularly interest, certain people, because you do kind of have this pinnacle of privilege, yes, but it doesn't mean that you don't have anything to say about life. It's just that necessarily your experience necessarily isn't current, I guess.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, I
It's
mean,
funny how people are trying to get away from boxes and like, oh, I don't fit any of your little boxes. I want to be out, and then they still find a way of putting everybody else in a box and then going in a box of their own. That's for me, that's a funny thing. That if you're into polyamory, like polyamory, that's okay. Oh, but we're not swingers. That's disgusting. Just have sex with people. Oh, that's
uh,
no. We are
yeah,
we are amorous, and the swingers will go. Oh, that's disgusting. We have a relationship. We are normal, and we don't want any of that. And if you're Catholic and so, oh, and
yeah.
and people are, they get together in these groups of whatever, and they just lock their thing and
But
this.
I think it's partly the media. It's all encouraging us to have more polemic views, I guess, and
Yeah,
kind of polarizing. But I don't think that, you know like discussion should be that. I
yeah,
think that we don't need to come from a certain place to all have a sort of position on life at all. We've
yeah,
all different to offer.
yeah.
It's just that some people have more unique experiences to bring to the table, I guess, and I think it's quite difficult for people to kind of reconcile themselves with the idea that their experience isn't necessarily as culturally important anymore.
Right.
But you don't need to be culturally important to feel important as an individual, I guess.
Yeah, and sometimes you're important as an individual, but you're an asshole, and you go and
Like,
yeah,
regardless of what
yeah,
experience you
exactly,
have, you may still just be a bell end.
exactly. Oh, very good, very very particular experience. Still, you're a dickhead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
still bell end.
a bellend. I love everything. I'm listening to Jeeves and Wooster, and I do recommend
Oh,
it vividly on Audible. There's Stephen Fry reading it, and it's just wow. And
he's
when
got
you're
a
saying
fantastic voice.
it's beautiful. Talking through the back of my hat. I think I'm talking through my hat. That's beautiful. And I didn't know P.G. Woodhouse until I started listening to Jeeves and Wooster, and man, it's a genius. And it's wow when you're I like it. It's very very nice. And so, what are your plans for your comedy? What are you studying, by the way?
I'm doing my MA in liberal arts, but like with theatre and film.
All
It's
right,
very modern. It's sort of like on the American model.
all right.
But yeah, I'm graduating this year, and hopefully, like when comedy clubs reopen, I've got some material which is based on my incredibly vibrant experience of existing between these four walls and slowly going, slightly uh, wacky.
Right.
So kind of deriving some character comedy from sort of the stuff that is going with my web series. I'm writing a short film at the moment, which is sort of a satire about child poverty and free school
There
meals
you
in
go.
the country,
Right.
which I'm hoping to get sort of either picked up or find some funding to create it over summer. And then I am going off to Paris.
Yay! Come to
It's,
Toulouse. I'm in the south of France,
oh,
so
beautiful.
you should come along and I'll get you a gig here, do an English gig.
An English gig in the south of France. That sounds like an English woman's dream.
Exactly. There's an English dude here. He does some shows. So there's a little tiny little scene, so you get enough for a couple of shows. You wouldn't fill a theater every night, but Eddie Izzard comes to play here, but
Yeah.
in French. He speaks French. She speaks French, and yeah. So off to Paris. Why? Just to live a year or just
I
move?
lived a year in Prague last year, and I made
Uh,
some really amazing girlfriends out there, and they're all moving to Paris. They're from across Europe and stuff, and they've decided to all move to Paris to do masters and stuff. So I thought I can go for 3 months, so I'm just going to go off to Paris for a bit, do some writing.
cool.
Should be a good time.
Yeah, yeah.
Get a bit of
Paris for 3 months.
entertainment.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of living in the UK at the moment. It feels a bit dead end uh,
yeah.
currently, for sure. So it would be nice to get out and just get some new experiences before I kind of come back. Because I'm
And
originally
settle.
from London, and go back to London and kind of try and get some gigs going and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And you think about doing stand up or
I
other things?
started doing a bit of stand up when I was in Prague, English language stand up in the Czech Republic, which was, there was actually a surprising scene for it. And I really, really enjoyed that, doing some improv. And yeah, now I've been writing material all year pretty much. So I'm really raring to kind of get going with that.
Cool. Yay. That sounds like fun. Sound like fun. Do it now, because I want to go to Los Angeles, but I have alimony to pay and shit. And yeah, and two kids and oh, well, I decided to do comedy like 35, 36 years old
Oh,
when you already have all the luggage and debt. You have debt and children. Well, what a good,
terrifying.
yeah,
Better children. I mean,
exactly,
the same thing.
exactly. Wow. And yeah, so that's cool that you come to Paris. That'll be cool. If you can come here and we shall meet, yeah, in real life. That'll be funny. And I could, film and do some filming
Yeah,
and
make
run really far.
film.
And I'll just stand around next to your phone just to make sure nobody nicks
Watch the
it.
camera. Oh,
Exactly.
it's even worse. I wasn't using a phone. I'm using like like a proper DSLR.
All
So
right.
that's
Oh,
more valuable equipment.
sure.
Just abandoned on a beach.
Exactly. Just tie it to a rock or something, like a
Yeah.
big chain, big old chain. That'll be funny. There might be a niche market there for secure video equipment. Like really
So
heavy stuff,
yeah. Someone should
anti-theft.
start a startup for that.
Exactly. Just
Yeah.
for
Kickstarter.
yeah, or a really long selfie pole. Like very very long, so you can film
Oh,
yourself.
sort of
Like
like an extendo arm.
exactly something
Very
like that.
Edgar Wright.
Yeah, something like that. That's very good. Alrighty. Thank you very much for being here. This has been
No, it was a
fun.
pleasure.
It is. It is. I always like to talk to people from the UK. It reminds me of when I lived there and all that. How very
A
nice.
beautiful country full of beautiful people.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, I'm going to turn off this recording.